Hello there. My name is Bob Orchard, coming to you live from Old Town Mariposa, where history lives. And today we're going to do something really special. Walt, my teammate and partner and fellow conspirator in all of this, is going to talk with me and us a little bit about technology in Mariposa. Walt, maybe we could start out a little bit with some background on what you do and the role you play in our technological environment.
Well, Bob, I've been teaching at the high school now for about 20 years, came in '95, and I have a master's in instructional science and technology. And we've developed a program that has live studio in the classroom, as well as multiple cameras that we shoot. We've done commercials, we've done...
So we're talking about multimedia.
Multimedia,
And
yeah. I started the program up here under Rock Carlson.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when we talk about multimedia, we're talking about pretty much cutting-edge type of telecommunications technology.
Absolutely.
And that's something that sometimes it's kind of difficult for people to get their arms around. They watch television, they listen to radio, but you know what goes into that production, the changes that are occurring in media today with the advent of the internet. When we talk about cutting-edge technology, that's what we're talking about here, right?
Right. And the production is very deep. I mean, it takes a lot for these kids to start looking at media in a different sense. A lot of them tell me that I've ruined movies for them because they are analyzing the shots and the camera motions, and that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to understand the technology and how to use it.
I've had some experience with your students, and I found myself becoming a much more critical consumer of media on television and in the radio and other media.
Definitely. You have to be. You have to be. With the internet, you know, it started in about 2006, YouTube did, and with that, we can broadcast across the world.
And in fact, we do.
And we do.
Yes. Our Old Town show has developed a fairly significant audience, and this is, it started out as kind of a picture of a small rural community, but what we found is that that picture is a lot more complex than what we originally imagined it to be. And I think that your technological insertion into this process has certainly broadened my horizon, and has certainly made this technology more accessible to people in our community, and maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
Well,
I know. We have been doing some advertising, advertising for our local business people.
Yeah, we've only really been doing this in the community for about 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the business people don't have websites, much less commercials, and it's quite expensive to produce those.
Yes.
So the school has started producing some commercials for local businesses that they can use on their website or even air on TV. But yeah, it's been a good partnership because students get real world experience, and
I think merchants have, you know, as a merchant myself, I've learned a lot about the communication arts and how they affect our business and the image that we put out there as a community and as a business. And so this has been adult education.
yeah.
So where do you see the program going? Oh, I dropped that one on you, Cole, didn't I?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We're still educating. We're still trying to bring the community up where they feel it's, you know, a desirable thing to have strong technology skills.
Well, technology skills with respect to our students, with respect to our community.
Yes.
I have, of course, I'm an old guy. I haven't told you that recently, but I'm pushing 72, and so this technology to me is kind of a stretch. I'm here when we were talking through coffee cans, but the reality is that technology has invaded our space big time with respect to telecommunications, how we do business, the simple, there is not too many things that we have in our everyday experience, whether you're in business or just a house person. You have to deal with technology at so many levels.
Yeah, that's true. And all the kids have iPhones, you know, they are constantly in touch with each other.
That's an aspect of communications that I'm just becoming aware of. I used to be, I think, more critical of young people sitting next to each other on a couch texting each other.
Yeah.
But I've become less critical of that because these communication skills are reaching out in a way that people of my generation really don't understand. But it's actually not just a phenomenon with young people. It's a phenomenon that's worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And when I'm in my business, I see people from other countries who are much more literate and sophisticated. And
Yes.
we're actually the founder of most of this technology.
Yes, we are.
But the rest of the world seems to be kind of leading us, using our technology in their day-to-day experiences much more than we do.
Yes, that's I've seen that too, and I'm not sure about that phenomenon, why, but it is very interesting.
Well, Mariposa is unique in that I think that we have the ability to bring that technology to life, both in the community setting, with the exchange that goes on between people like you and me and your class as a business person. We also have our students, our young people, are going out into the world and able to deal with the world in real terms with this technology, where maybe other students in other institutions don't have that particular accessibility of that experience, life experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Mm-hmm. That wasn't a question.
That wasn't a question.
So, but you're right, and you know, communication is utmost important.
Well, it's the heart of what we do.
It is. It's the heart of everything.
As you well know, I've been spending a lot of time rereading Marshall McLuhan from
Yes.
my college days.
Yeah.
And the media is the message, of course, was something that was very famous in those days. But you know, the transition from Gutenberg print technology
Right.
to broadcast technology with the telegraph, the time distance factors. You know, when just in real world time, when I was in the service, when we were over in Southeast Asia, it would take weeks for us to communicate
Yes.
home.
Yes.
When my son was in Afghanistan, we had live conversations, and that just was not technology that was available.
Yeah.
And that was only, well, 40, 50 years ago, but you know, within our lifespans, we've seen some major changes in how technology has affected our everyday life. And what's happening now with communications, communication skills, we're having to learn new games. And in many ways, technology is a lifelong learning process.
Absolutely. You know, the internet, I would compare it to the impact of the Gutenberg printing press.
Yes.
Because that printing press allowed modern, common people to exchange
Like you and me.
knowledge, like you and me, and to actually increase, you know, what they knew about the world. Well, the internet has done the same thing. We get news reports out of foreign countries all the time from everyday people, and it's instantaneous. And that kind of stuff, even with books, wasn't happening. But now with the internet, it does. And that has changed our world.
And it's redefined what is news.
Yes, it has.
That's something that I find really interesting. I've become very sophisticated in terms of what is news to me, and sometimes it doesn't jibe with what the publishers of news consider news.
Yes.
But as a consumer, I can pick and choose what is news for me and what isn't, and that's something that this age, this generation, doesn't share with our fathers and forefathers.
Right, but they are having to choose, as you say, and they're not necessarily as discriminatory. They really have to learn, well, what is fact and what is opinion, because many
That's
of them they'll believe the opinion. And it's not based on anything, it's just somebody's opinion. But because of the way it's broadcast, they believe it. And that's kind of a new learning skill that we're having to teach in the schools.
And it's a world of opinion out there, and some of it matches and some of it doesn't match.
Exactly.
And we have to become sophisticated consumers.
Yep.
But I want to go back to lifelong learning, because that, as an old guy, as I'm sure, that's becoming part. I was involved with the university system several years ago, and that's very much a package, and that is now becoming more and more a package. You have an ROP program, and something that was really amazing to me was that this program is accessible by old folks like me.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, I've been teaching ROP actually for 28 years, my entire career.
Well, you're an old guy too.
I'm getting there. Feeling it too.
But I'm making you a lot older.
Yes, you are, day by day. But ROP has just been an awesome program. We're affiliated with the Fresno County ROP, and they have supported little old Mariposa for 20 years up here, and we get almost $300,000 every year to run the ROP programs, and that's why we have awesome programs. We have the multimedia, the fire science, and the welding. But they have always been forefront, cutting edge. They really promote student learning and project-based learning and lifelong learning, and they have always been an advocate for us up here in the
mountains. And that's kind of the direction that education is going. Life
it
skills,
is more and more.
And I think part of this technology thing, and the reason why we're going to be doing this focus with our Old Town show, is that technology is very much a lifelong learning thing. The pace of technology is something that is sometimes a little intimidating. Most of the time it's really intimidating to people like me.
Yeah.
And staying current with it is a lifelong commitment.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
just in my short
and-
career, I've gone from VHS tape and recording to fully digital now, where we
Right.
just record on chips. And all the things in between, which there have been a lot of different medias.
Well, do you have any words of wisdom with respect to where this technology may be all going? Not necessarily with your educational program, but with respect to telecommunication, the internet, the interface between our lives and the internet?
I don't. You know, when I was a kid, which wasn't that long ago,
He likes to rub it in.
The idea of a video phone was out there, but it was just an idea. And I FaceTime my parents almost every weekend, and it's a video phone.
Do you know what happened today?
What happened today?
Did you know that Apple has released their wristwatch concept?
Oh, yeah.
The iWatch, or I don't know what they call it, but that hit the news today.
That's pretty amazing.
Remember Dick Tracy?
Yep.
We're moving into the Dick Tracy innovation period. Walt, I really appreciate you coming and talking with me on camera. I know that isn't what you like to do.
No, not much.
But your students are going to really enjoy this. They always love to watch you, particularly when you're putting up with me. And what we're going to be doing in the future, for ladies and gentlemen, is doing some specials on technology and how we've adapted and applied that technology in our life here in Old Town Mariposa. And I think out of all this, you're going to find it really interesting. You're also going to find out that we have some rather unique resources right here in Mariposa. Yeah. And we're going to be developing some new resources in the foreseeable future with respect to seminars, bringing in educational opportunities for people in our community to become more adept at how we apply this technology in their everyday life.
Tech savvy, yep.
Tech savvy, I like that.
Savvy.
It's got a certain ring to it. So anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Walt, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Bob.
And thanks for out there for joining us in Old Town Mariposa.